Okay. Are y'all familiar with Cahoots? Okay. Good, quick, good kind of quiz thing. I'm gonna talk a little bit about some of the formatting issues, but I want to do it in a more interactive way. So we're gonna run a Cahoots. Those on in cyberspace, please do join us. I'm going to get this going, classic mode. Alrighty, so just some general formatting questions. You'll have 30 seconds for each one. APA style refers to how content is organized, citing references, writing conventions, or all of these. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yep. So this is one where, you know, every answer is correct, but all of these is the most correct. Oftentimes when we talk about APA style, we just tend to think about citations, but and we're going to look at some of the writing conventions of APA, not all of them, but we're going to look at some of these. But it also has to do with how content is organized. And I'm going to show you a little bit. Purdue OWL has a very nice example of a sample paper that you can download on PDF. And so you can see what it should look like, what an APA paper should look like. Cool. So great job, all of you, because you were all right. Good job, Cowboy and Jaw. Margins in an APA paper should be 1 inch top bottom, 1 inch on the sides, ½ inch all the way around, whatever looks comfortable to you, or 1 inch all the way around. Yep, 21. Yeah, the 1 inch all the way around. And I'll just point out to this because students still try to do it. If you set your margins to 1.25 or 1.5, we can see it. And again, part of this is understanding that APA is a set of conventions that are created by APA. Those conventions are based on other people's practices, and that's why they have different updates for it. Right now we're in the APA 7th. I just read a press release that they're already starting to work on APA 8th edition. I'm sorry. It won't be out for a couple of years though. So but conventions change and they progress. I'll just point this out here really quickly. About 12 years ago when APA 6 came out, the internet was still new for a lot of people. So you would have retrieved from, and then you would have a URL. Well, at this point, everybody's familiar with it, or enough people are familiar with it, that they drop the retrieve from element. Right. So 1 inch all the way around. I'm actually going to show you in a little bit how to get to a template. I always like to recommend use templates because they'll take care of a lot of things for you already. Alrighty, next one. Ja, still leading the pack. Alrighty, which one of these fonts would not be acceptable in APA? Yeah, Arial 14-point font, don't use any 14-point fonts. But according to 7th edition, right, you can use a number of different fonts. Now, a lot of people who've been studying for a little bit longer, have a little more experience, they're used to Times New Roman 12-point, and that's perfectly fine. If a professor asks you to use it, go ahead and use it. But you have these other opportunities for different fonts. It's really interesting. With some reading research, we're finding that, especially in online environments, having a non-serif font, which is this kind of font, is actually easier on our brains than a serif font. Good job, Heather. The primary sections of an APA paper include the following: Title page, abstract, body, and references. Yep. Everything is right. These are the main sections of the paper. And I like to throw it out here because sometimes we just write and we don't do a title page, but that is proper conventions for APA. Sometimes you may have a professor who will say, don't worry with a cover page. But if you don't hear that direction, then assume you need to do it. Heather's still in the lead. True or false? A title page does not need to have the course number, name, and number. 25 of you got it right. Yes, a cover page requires that you need to account for what class this is for. Heather's on a run. The abstract should be no more than blank words. Yep, very good. 250 words is the recommended max. We're going to talk a little. We're going to come back to abstracts in just a second. Heather, you still up there? Oh. Which of the following are not true about running headers in APA? I'm hearing some people talking and collaborating. Yes. Yeah, so this is another one where you got a lot of chance to be right. Yes. Yeah, italics should not be in the running head. I know, it should not. Did I set up the answer wrong? Okay, well, everybody who didn't choose blue, you're right. Oh, DP just squeaks it out. All righty. Okay. So I wanted to take a moment and look at some, and this is where we have some exercises. So if you've got the PDF pulled up, if you're still on the live guide, you can find the links there. We're going to talk a little bit about hanging indents. All right, so hanging indent is right. The first line is longer than any subsequent line in the entry. Let me just ask this real quick. Has that been a problem for anybody in creating those? Okay, everybody in the room is saying no. Professor saying, yeah. Okay, so there's two ways to go at it. One is, and I know this exists, so I have one down here, hanging indents for Google Docs and hanging indents in Apple Pages. There are other ways to do this in Word. We simply go to the paragraph notation and we can set that all up here. Indents and spaces, hanging, and then we can choose how far to put it in. Usually 1/2 inch is about standard. And that's usually the default, so just go ahead and leave that alone. Or you can use the ruler, which is actually what you do in Google Docs and Apple Pages. So I'm going to pull that up here real quick. Alrighty, so I've got this is actually from a paper I'm working on currently. So we've got all of these different ones out here. So I'll just show you the other one. Oh, that's right, we're using the online version. We can send up we can set up indents here. Where's the hanging indent option? Okay, paragraph options. Right, so here's where we can tell it, hanging indent, 1/2 inch, and we'll do it that way. The way I actually prefer to do it, and I do it like this most often. Howdy, y'all. In watching this section,
I noticed that I did something, I didn't do it quite the right way, so I'm going to reshoot this section um, and insert it here. Take care. All right, so for this way to do it, and again, I think this is, if I recall correctly, this is the way we do this in Google Docs and Word and Microsoft Pages. I think there's a way to automatically set it up, but when I've worked with those tools, this is how I've done it. So we just grab this, we come up here to the ruler, we grab this bottom part and drag it, whoops, sorry, you got to, first thing you got to do is select the area, the text that you want to indent. Grab this bottom one, the left hand indent, drag it in 1/2 inch, and then pull the top one back out 1/2 inch. I just find that much easier to do. But that's the other way of creating a hanging indent using the ruler.
Okay, headings. Headings can be, is this yeah. Headings, how many of y'all have worked with headings? Okay, so Karen back there. Hopefully some of you online have worked with them. Headings are a great convention to help us organize the paper. One of the things as writers that we want to do is we want to eliminate as many questions as possible from our readers, right? So how many of y'all have noticed in papers, right? You'll have your introduction or literature review section, your and the literature review, yeah, literature review. IMRAD, IMRAD. Let's do this real quick. Right. Introduction. This will be kind of give us a sense of why this piece is being written. We'll also give a sense of the literature review, right? The context of it. Right? Methods, right? How did you get the data that you found? Results, what did you find? And then discussion, what do those results mean? Have you all noticed in the literature that those are pretty well marked out? Usually what happens in papers is these are level 1 headings. Right, so these are the main sections of the paper. Level 2 headings are going to be important information underneath it, but it signifies to the reader, okay, this whole section here belongs to this idea. And they've given a couple examples here, right? Method, site of study and participant populations, right? So with this one, beneath the method section, it breaks it up, right? It tries to break it into chunks so that it's easy for us to follow as we're reading. Now, in my experience, most of the time for students, you'll use level 1, level 2, and level 3 headings. Level 4 and level 5, those are usually for like big research projects. I want to introduce this idea for it, so you know what's going on. You'll probably just use the first 3 layer level of headings. So I've got a quick exercise here. All right, and here's just quick chance to get to do something. So what is heading 1? What should that be? Centered in bold. Yep. Go and bold it and center it. How much of your paper should be centered? Only your title and your level 1 headings. Everything else should be justified. Okay, what was 2? Did you say bold and left justified? Yeah. And heading 3. Italics, yeah. Yeah, alrighty. So these are just want to give you the chance to have a chance to practice this and go through it.